2 weeks.
Straight right, and that's it. And Michel in.
Even before joining UFC, Michel Pereira was a well-known name on the internet. Now that he's mesmerizing the crowd inside the octagon, the Brazilian ninja has adopted a dance fighting style called capoeira, and he's about to officially display his skills in the cage. This is the perfect time to recall this crazy capoeira master who is taking UFC to another level. Michel Pereira. On October 6, 1993, Michel Pereira came into the world. He competes in mixed martial arts and is from Brazil. At the age of 12, he began his training in karate, and beginning when he was 16, he began training in Brazilian jiu-jitsu to complement his existing skill set. I'm currently competing in the Ultimate Fighting Championship in the welterweight division. Since 2011, he has been competing on a full-time basis for various organizations, including 300 Sparta, Akhmat Fight Club, the Serbian Battle Championship, Jungle Fight, Extreme Fighting Championship, and the Road Fighting Championship. He previously held the title of welterweight champion of the Serbian Battle Championship. He's currently ranked number 14 in the welterweight division of the UFC as November 8, 2022. Early career. Michel Pereira began his career as a professional mixed martial artist by competing in regional promotions held in his home state of Brazil, as well as in 300 Sparta. He amassed a professional record of 9-3, including victories over MMA veterans Daziel da Silva Jr. and Slamar Nunes. He currently holds the record for the most regional promotions held in Brazil. These early victories allowed the fighter to compete in larger promotions later on. Games like XFC and Jungle Fight come to mind. Junior Orgolo was his opponent in both his debut bout and sole bout while signed with Jungle Fight. He triumphed with everyone in the room voting for him. His subsequent bout with Ironman CF resulted in a defeat at the hands of Junior de Oliveira. Michel Pereira was able to secure a contract with XFC after earning a victory over Robson. Pereira faced Geraldo Colho in the preliminary bout of XFC International 7 that they both competed. Pereira responded to the pressure applied by his opponent by clinching and going for a takedown. He then finished the fight in the third round by applying a guillotine choke to his opponent.
Turning loose, done, deal, Coelho taps.
His subsequent bout took place during the preliminary rounds of XFC International 9, and it was against Rocha. Michel won a unanimous decision thanks to his use of various techniques, including wheel kicks and flying knees. Because of these two victories, he was able to compete evenly with Carlston Harris in the main event, which Pereira ultimately lost by unanimous decision. Serbian Battle Championship in Road FC. As a result of his 16-8 record, he was given the opportunity to compete against Luka Strazowski for the vacant SBC Welterweight Championship at SBC 15, which took place on December 8, 2017. This fight took place in 2017. Pereira received the most votes, giving him victory. Pereira was scheduled to defend his SBC title against Costa on the 18th of April 2018 at the SBC 17 event that was scheduled to take place. Though the use of rear naked choke, he was able to put his opponent out of the fight in the very first round. As part of his exit from SBC, Pereira was scheduled to face Carlos Pereira in a catchweight fight at Arena Fight 8 on May 12, 2018 at a weight of 176 pounds. The fight was to take place at a catchweight of 176 pounds. The fight had to be stopped because there was a problem with the cage mechanism and there was no winner announced. His next fight, which was against Raul Kim and took place at Heat 42 on May 27, 2018, was also fought at the catch weight of 176 pounds. The fight served as an opening act for Pereira's professional career in South Korea. The fight was stopped on its first round due to a technical knockout that was scored by Pereira. The fight between Pereira and He Xiangyang was scheduled to take place after the previous one of Road FC 48. In the first round of the fight, he scored a knockout victory over his opponent by way of technical knockout. Pereira continued to compete in the South Korean circuit while he was preparing for his next fight, which was scheduled to take place against Batmangpor in Zurich at the Heat 43 event in South Korea on September 17, 2018. The fight was scheduled to take place at the Heat 43 event. After submitting his opponent with a rear naked choke, the fight was initially ruled in his favor. However, the result was later changed to a no contest because it was discovered that Pereira was underweight. Pereira was scheduled to defend his SBC middleweight title against Duka Todorovic on the night of event known as SBC 19, which took place on December 1, 2018. During the first round of their fight, Todorovic was able to end the bout by knocking out his opponent via a technical knockout. On the 15th of December 2018 at Road FC 05120, a catchweight fight between Pereira and Wan Jun Cho was scheduled to take place. The fight was supposed to take place at 190 pounds. After just 41 seconds of action, the fight was over when Pereira knocked out his opponent. At the openweight competition on February 23, 2019, Pereira was scheduled to face Dae-Sung Kim, who competed in the heavyweight division. However, the bout never took place. Pereira defeated Kim with a knockout by technical knockout in the second round of their fight. Ultimate Fighting Championship, Pereira versus Danny Roberts. The bout with Danny Roberts was set to be Pereira's debut in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, which was to take place on the 18th of May 2019 at UFC Fight Night 152. After utilizing some unconventional punching techniques such as the attempted Showtime kick and a Superman punch, Pereira was able to win the fight via knockout in the early going of the first round. The judges chose Pereira's performance as their pick of Performance of the Night. Pereira versus Sergey Kondosko. The next bout for Pereira was scheduled to take place at UFC Fight Night 158 against Sergey. Since Sergey would have problems obtaining a visa, the role of Sergey was given to the Canadian Tristan Conley. There was a 2-pound difference between Pereira and the target weight. He was defeated by a decision that was reached by all of the judges in attendance. MMA Junkie would choose this fight as their upset of the year if they had to choose one. Due to the fact that Pereira failed to make weight for the fight, he was unable to compete for the Fight of the Night award. As a result, Pereira was forced to give up 30% of his purse in addition to a share of the $50,000 prize money that was awarded to the fight. Pereira versus Diego Sanchez. Pereira fought Diego Sanchez for the third time in the UFC on February 15, 2020 at UFC Fight Night 167. Sanchez was Pereira's third opponent in the UFC. Pereira had Sanchez under his control for the majority of the fight, but he was eventually disqualified for hitting Sanchez with an illegal knee while he was on the ground. Sanchez won the fight. Pereira versus Zalem Iadayev. UFC Fight Night 176 took place on September 5, 2020 and featured a fight between Pereira and Imadayev. Imadayev and Pereira had to be restrained by the event staff after an altercation during the weigh-ins, in which Imadayev slapped Pereira in the face. Pereira was in complete control of the fight from start to finish, repeatedly landing blows to Imadayev's face before eventually forcing him to submit in the third round and claiming victory. As a result of the victory, he was given the award of Performance of the Night. Pereira versus Muslim Salahov. At the time of publication, the fight between Pereira and Muslim was scheduled to take place on January 15, 2022 on UFC on ESPN 32. However, Muslim pulled out of the fight for reasons that had not been made public, and as a result, the fight did not take place. Pereira versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. UFC Fight Night 206 took place on May 21, 2022 and featured a match between Pereira and Santiago. The judge's decision was a draw,
Michel Pereira.
but he was declared the winner nonetheless. Because of his performance in the night, he was given the Fight of the Night award. Despite the fact that Pereira has 11 losses on his record, he's currently on a winning streak. As a result, he has broken into the top 15 and secured his position among the main cards. Michel is no longer bouncing from one promotion to the next. Rather, he concentrates on honoring his fighting style by incorporating patience and strategy into his acrobatic maneuvers. The Brazilian striker, who's only 28 years old, possesses the necessary knowledge and experience to join the elite
Yeah, this guy, he does 3 backflips.
in the not-too-distant future and will almost certainly increase the level of endorphins in the audience.